Hey, Crazy Will here. Today we're going to be talking about another GoPro alternative by AKASO. It's the V50 Pro Endless Summer Edition. Stay tuned and I'm going to show you all about it. Hey, Crazy Will here from Crazy Will's Tech Show. Today, we're going to be taking a look at AKASO's new GoPro alternative. They have a special edition, Endless Summer. Don't we wish summer would be endless, but it is right around the corner. The V50 Pro Special Edition. And disclosure, they sent this to me for free. They actually sent me a lot of stuff, and I always say yes because their products are really up there and they have a great price point. So keep that in mind while we're reviewing this. Packaging is really nice. They always do a good job packaging, but I think they went especially really good with this one. Really premium feel. Let's talk about the key features. This could shoot up to 4K at 30 frames per second. It also takes 20 megapixel photos. It has a full 2-inch touchscreen right in the back. It's got smooth advanced image stabilization. Don't you worry, we're gonna test that out. It has adjustable viewing angles up to 170 degrees. So you can view this wide angle. It has built-in Wi-Fi so you can connect it easily to your phone. It actually has a micro HDMI out. Again, this one supports an external microphone, but it is proprietary and they did not send it to me once again, which doesn't make sense to me because this is like the second camera they sent to me, and you think that they would put that microphone in there so that way I could show you guys how it works and how it sounds. So maybe they're not proud of it. I have no idea. This also has 6 different shooting modes. You could shoot still photos, shoot 8 times the speed in slow motion, photo burst, it has a self timer, loop recording, and it also has a mode that they did not advertise. It's called drive mode, where you can make this a camera that sits on your dash, and as soon as you start your car and you start driving, it starts recording, which is a really good feature. And I don't know why they don't talk about that too much, but yeah, they have it. Probably because they have other products that do that. This came with a buttload of accessories. This is the one thing that I love about these cameras. Everything that you could possibly want to mount this, to connect it, any way you want to set this camera up, they give you all the necessary pieces. They even give you the Velcro to connect it to it. Let's take this out of the box. It has a waterproof case, as you can see there. It could go up to 30 meters underwater or 131 feet. So that's quite a bit to be able to go underwater with this. It also came with a remote, so you also have the capability of Wi-Fi and a remote. A little wrist remote. You can either take a picture or shoot a video with this. It comes with 2 batteries, which I really love because that's the worst thing about when you buy a new camera. You have to get batteries for it. So it comes with 2, and it comes with a dual charger. And the batteries are 1,100 milliamp batteries. So you get 2 batteries. It's actually a little less than the other camera that I reviewed if you watch my channel, but they still last closer to the 2-hour mark that this would last. Depending on how you use it, it could be a lot less or it could be a little bit more. So, you know, for example, if you're shooting a time lapse, it might last longer. I almost got 3 hours out of it. But if you're shooting 4K video, it might only last an hour. From my experience, because I've been playing with this for over a week now. And I've used their products before, and that seems to be the going rate. Now the price for this little beauty is $129.99. Just keep your eyes open on Amazon. You can get it cheaper, but for that price range, you are getting a lot for 130 bucks, basically. Being a Mac guy myself, I am very happy that they went with the file format of .mov. Really easy to transfer. It works great on Windows, works great on Macs, so you won't have a problem transferring files. I've never had a problem with AKASO because they use that video format, but other GoPro alternatives, I've had problems because they'll use a different type of codec. This is a very commonly known codec, just in case for those people that don't know. Really nice, really easy to transfer video. All right, so we're gonna be putting this up against the Canon T6i that shoots 1080p, against this one, which is 4K at 30 frames per second. They're both shooting at 30 frames per second. Let's take a look at that. This is a full view of AKASO, and this is the microphone on the AKASO. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna put them side by side now. And this is what they look like side by side. So now you have a $700 camera at a lower resolution, and you have a cheaper camera with a higher resolution. So we'll see what the comparison looks like. I mean, how's it look side by side? You do have a wider angle. I'm not changing the angle on the AKASO. I'm gonna be switching the mic back and forth so you guys can hear it. So that gives you an idea of what the video quality is. And this is what it looks like with very little light, only the light coming through the window that's being blocked, to kind of give you what the low light situation will look like. And now we'll do it with the Canon T6i and the AKASO side by side, so that way you can see the difference in the low light situation. All right, so now I'm gonna take the camera outside and we're gonna see what it looks like outside, because if it's a sports camera, that's probably where you're gonna be using it the most. So let's go do that, shall we? All right, so here we are outdoors. Just to give you an idea, it's a beautiful day in North Carolina. And just to give you an idea of what the microphone sounds like on the AKASO, so we're going to do a full view of the AKASO with the microphone so you guys can get an idea of what it sounds like. And then we'll go side by side so you guys can see what the outdoors looks like. Again, this is a wider angle lens, so you're going to see more than you would on the Canon T6i. So just to give you an idea, I'm going back and forth with the mic just to give you guys an idea of what it sounds like, what it looks like, see if it really shines outside. We're going to use Bella as our test subject. She's gonna make up for peeing on the office floor. So I attached a camera to the dog for the image stabilization. That's what we're gonna use. I'm gonna play with her. I'm gonna show you first without image stabilization, and then I'm gonna put stabilization on, because apparently my dog is more athletic than I am. What you doing, Belle? Come on, Belle. Come on. Come on. Let's show them what it looks like without image stabilization. Good girl. Good girl. And this is with image stabilization on. Come on, Belle. Come on, Belle. Come on, come on, baby. Come on, come on, come on, baby. Come on, come on. Good girl. So that was the outside. Thank you, Bella, for helping us out. Let's take a look at a slow motion test that I did. So that was the slow motion test. Thought that was pretty cool. You can adjust settings on that as well. I'm not going through all the settings, I'm just showing you some of the features. And now let's take a look at a time lapse. Now again, this one, you have different settings. I actually did that one every 5 seconds. And that was my 3D printer, and that was going on for 3 hours. The camera didn't get everything because it didn't go the full 3 hours, but it did show you how it was printing. And last but not least, we're gonna do the water test. Unfortunately, by itself, it is not waterproof. There's lots of places for water to go into. You need the case. A lot of people have probably a hard time trying to use the case. So what we're gonna do is we're going to place this right in the case, like so. We're gonna close the door, like so, and then we're gonna use the clip, like this, and push it down. Now this is watertight. Normally I use a tissue and a coffee cup and this vase that I'm about to show you and submerge it for 30 minutes and make sure that it's watertight. I've used these so many times that, and I've done reviews on them, that I know this is watertight. I would still check it if I were you, but I know what the seals look like and I know this is gonna be watertight. It is recording. I'm gonna take my picture and I'm gonna dunk it in there. And now I'm gonna show you the video from this with the audio, and it's probably not gonna be good audio. I'm gonna go ahead and drop it now and let it go to the bottom so it can see. I'll try and adjust it. So now it's at the bottom and it's looking out, and it's probably looking towards the camera now. We'll leave it in there for a second, and now I'm gonna grab it out. Get water all over my floor. Video's still recording, good, because this is the 3rd time I've done this. Technical difficulty. We'll stop the recording. Recording has stopped. We're gonna dry it down, and now we're gonna take it out. So, and it is dry as a bone. And now I'm gonna check my recording, see if I have to do this a 4th time. So now let's see how we use this with the functional buttons and the touch screen. Let's take a look at that right now. The first thing we're gonna do is turn it on. Just hold down on this button right here, and it comes on right away. And this light indicator right here tells you that it's on. Also, you got a light up screen, and it also tells you when we're recording. All right, so you can see the screen here. Obviously, you're not gonna see anything because I'm pointing it at a napkin. You have this top button right here. If you hit the button, it'll start recording, whatever you have it set to record, and I'll get into those in a minute. But if you hit it again, it stops. Now, if you hit the red button again, hit it once, you go to camera view. Hit it again, you go to play view, and you can actually tap it and start playing. You can go into the actual playing. If you hit it again, you go camera, play, and then settings, and then back to video. So that's just a quick way, whichever one you pick. Like if I want to go into settings, I can actually go into settings from there. If you don't want to use that, you can get to that same menu by just hitting this arrow right here, because this is touchscreen. And you'll get that menu right there. Now in this menu you have photo, video, settings, playback. If you go into the video, it'll go right to the video. If you click it again and you click right to the camera, you go to the camera. And then we can go into playback, and you can actually play back anything you want to play back. So if I hit this, I could hit play, and this was the time lapse that you guys saw earlier. You can delete it from here, or you can pause it, or you can get out of it. You can go into settings here, and then you get another menu, and you can go into video settings where you can, and I'm not going to go into all these, but this is where all your resolution, your encoding, your time lapse intervals, everything you want to do is right here. Going through these quickly. Same thing with the photo. You can go through and see all that information right there, and then you could adjust settings. Effects, these are all different effects that you could change. It's pretty much what you could do to control the camera. And then if we go to general, we can actually go to the general controls. So we could see control, sound, power, frequency. So you have a lot of different things here. If you click at the arrow at the bottom, you could turn off the beeps, which I did. That turns it off. If I leave that on, you'll see it'll make noises now when I push it. I don't care for the noises, so I turned off the beep. You can turn off the microphone, you can turn off the speaker, you can turn off the controller, or you can actually turn on Wi-Fi. And if you click on that, that's how you get your Wi-Fi set up so you can connect it to your phone. Yeah, the only way I know how to turn off Wi-Fi mode is just to hold down on it, and that turns it off. That's how to use the buttons. Now let's go and take a look on how the app works. Alright, so here we are on the phone. Yes, I finally got a new phone. What you want to do is turn on the camera, and like I showed you before, just arrow up and click on the Wi-Fi selection. On the screen, you're going to get a Wi-Fi connection. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into settings, and we're going to click on Wi-Fi, and you're going to see AKASO V50 Pro. We're going to click on that. And it should ask you for a password. Whatever the password is, on mine right now, it is 123456789 That's what it shows on the screen. You just put that in as your password. That's how you're going to get in. So now we can go over to the app, AKASO Go. And when you get in there, it's the whole like wannabe social media thing going on here. Don't worry about that. Just click on devices and go to connect to camera, and that's the camera. I have two cameras. I don't know if you guys saw that before. If you want to see that video, you can see that here. But this is what the camera sees right now. If you click up in the corner at this one, this is software updates, image stabilization, noise reduction, timestamp on or off, shutter speed. You can format a card here. Just going through this really quick, and this is what this camera's seeing right now. I'll put my hand in front of there. You can go to video, loop recording, slow motion, fast motion, and you can record right from here. So if I hit record, it'll start recording, and then you could stop it. Now, if you want to switch to photo, you can just click on photo at the bottom there, and that'll switch to photo, and then you get your options here, photo burst, self timer, and so forth and so on. If you want to access the pictures, you just click on this little photograph thing here, and then you can look at your last video that you made. So you can go through that there, and it wasn't a long one. And then you can click on the dots at the top here. You could download it. I'm just going to delete it because I don't need it. There's a whole bunch of tests I was doing, messing around with it. So if we go back to video right here, just click on video there, and we're in video. If I click on this layer right here, right next to the record button, you have your resolution and then EV. Basically, it's just controlling the exposure. I will just keep it back at 0, but as you can see, it was getting lighter and darker. And then you got resolutions. I like it at the 4K mark. I put it right there so I can record 4K, and you can see it change right away. And these are all your resolutions for this camera that you can record in. Same thing if you click on the photo one, a different option here, you get the pixel. So you could do from 20 to 2 megapixels if you really wanted to. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but... And then you have your settings right here, and this is like, click on this. It's just the only thing that I saw in here was the white balance, and you can click on that, and you could pick auto, cloudy, daylight, forecast, tungsten. So whatever you change these to, it'll change the lighting accordingly. I would just put it on auto. I always leave it on auto. I don't mess with that. But that's a quick overview of the app. That's basically the app. It's not the greatest app in the world. It's leaving out a lot of features. Like I said when I reviewed the Oscamo Brave Plus, they need to improve upon that, I feel, and now they added this whole social media type of thing going on now, and I don't really care for that. The Wi-Fi drops off. I think they got to improve the Wi-Fi on that, but it's not a bad experience. It's just not the greatest experience. All right. Alright, so it's time to wrap this up. So now to go over the pros and cons. First, we'll start off with the pros. The resolution's really good. They're really catching up to the higher end cameras now, because this is quite a few years old. I gotta say, in a lot of cases, the resolution was right there, or if not better in some cases. So the resolution on this camera is really impressive. This comes with a lot of accessories, so it makes a really great deal for what you're getting. Even the remote control. I like the wide angle, and I didn't show it in this video because it's getting a little long, but you can change the size of the video. It's honestly a lot like the Brave 6 Plus that I reviewed. A lot of the pros are the same. Now, the things I didn't like about it. First thing is the microphone is absolutely and positively horrible. I did not care for the audio at all. I just wish they put that little 2.0mm jack in there so I could use my microphone that's here so I could test it better. The touchscreen was unresponsive. I got very aggravated several times with the touchscreen. It was just hard to navigate on the camera. And sometimes you thought you were recording and then it wouldn't record it to the disc. And I was having that problem in the beginning, and then I reformatted the SD card, and it may be my SD card, but it seemed there's several times that I tried to record on it and it wouldn't record. It showed that it was recording, but yet it wasn't doing anything, and I think that is a big miss on their part. The Wi-Fi, it's a good feature, it's just not a solidified feature. The Wi-Fi would drop off because I was too far away, and then it would stop recording, or my phone would go in save mode because the app won't keep it open, and then it would drop off and there was no recording, or I would get a tiny little clip. So the Wi-Fi feature is very frustrating. I'm sure if I played with it, I could get it where the phone won't sleep and the Wi-Fi will stay connected, but it doesn't go very far. So it's a good feature, but it's not the best, because if you start off with Wi-Fi, you lose the connection or something, you lose the video. So that was a really frustrating thing for me. Another thing was I couldn't figure it out. I'm gonna look up the manuals, but I couldn't figure out how to turn off the Wi-Fi. I tried hitting several buttons, I tried touching the screen. It wouldn't let me do it. So basically I had to hold down on the power button and power it off to get it off of Wi-Fi mode. There was other instances where it still thought it was connected to the phone and I still couldn't get out of Wi-Fi mode, and even trying to power it off was a pain in the butt. So it's little things like that that aggravate me. And then the app is going the social media route, which is completely fine, but don't start that on the landing page. It should just be about the app. So my overall thoughts, I love AKASO's products. This is not a bad camera for the price. The video quality was amazing, but I'm gonna have to give it a 3 out of 5, guys. It has a lot of holes that could probably be filled in with an update. I like the Brave 6 better than I liked the V50 Pro. That's it for me, guys. If this video helped you in any way, please help me and like and subscribe down below. And remember, you could do anything if you put your mind to it. Later, guys!
Make up for being on Daddy's floor. I'm gonna use Bella as our test subject.
This isn't a Marvel movie, guys. There's no secret ending, no strategy or something. Just hit like and subscribe and maybe click on one of the videos above. Don't know what to tell you.